Hey guys, so Shaylea Brown with the Lundy Group. I know that Jonathan has put out a video with a lot of the numbers from Family Reunion, and so I just wanted to talk about Family Reunion and what that is. So for our company, Keller Williams, we have a conference every year called Family Reunion. We actually have two conferences, one Family Reunion, which is a little bit of a longer conference, and then we have Mega Camp, which is a little bit shorter conference in August. But both of those are really just put in place to help the agents be successful in our company. And so with those, we just all went to Family Reunion, our team did, and we had, number one, so we had such a good time and we all love to have a good time. But what we love about that is not only the numbers and the market content that comes out of that, which is amazing that our company pours into its agents to make sure that we're equipped with what we need to know, even with economic forecast and the market forecast, not only globally, but nationally. And then we can take that home and put that into our micro market as well. The other thing I love about Family Reunion and about our company specifically is that we pour into the agents in their mindset and then their personal lives, because your mindset feeds everything. So if your mindset around just who you are as a person, which feeds into your personal life, that's going to flow over into your business. And so if you can learn habits and things in your personal life to make you successful and train your mind to think in a certain way, that's going to feed into your business, and that's going to only make your business more successful because you as a person are growing. And so I love that Keller Williams pours into us and make sure that we have what we need to grow. Now it's our responsibility to take those things that we learned and put them into action. But we have the opportunity to do that, and we have the opportunity to do that twice a year. A lot of times we go to these things and we come back and think, we just heard the same, like we heard that they said the same thing last year, right? In these classes and those things. But it hits you different every time, because every year you're in a different place personally, you're in a different place professionally, and even sometimes the same content can hit you in a different way where you implement it in a different way. Or maybe you chose to not implement it last time, but this time we're going to implement it and make those changes. So, and not all of it's the same every time, but a lot of the themes are the same, coming from a place of abundance and not a place of scarcity, to make sure that we're serving people, not out of a need to feed our life and feed our business and just make money, but to help people. And if we can come from a place of abundance and helping people, that's going to feed over, and our clients are going to feel that, and where there's going to be no pressure on, like, you got to buy, this house, this one. We want you to be in the right house. We want to help you walk through the process and support you in the best we can. And if this isn't the house for you, then let's look for the next one. And walking people through that without this, us in the back of our own mind, scared that we're not going to make a sale. And I think that learning some of those things, and there's so many more things after that, but learning some of those things feeds into us creating a sustainable and a consistent and really a servant-hearted business, which I think are the most successful businesses, are when we're truly after serving the people that we're working with and doing it at the highest level. When we become experts at what we do, that's going to feed over, and people are going to see that. So that is what I love about a lot of Family Reunion. So a couple notes, I brought my notebook from this year's Family Reunion that we went to. There was a lot of amazing things. The CEO from It Cosmetics, which I guess L'Oreal has purchased. I didn't even realize that, but they've purchased It Cosmetics since then. But she told her story about growing that business and just the grit and doing that, and the amount of no's that she heard before she got a huge yes was amazing. And just a reminder of, sometimes you're going to hear no, and it doesn't mean that you're not fit for this, you can't do this. It just means it's a no, and that's okay. But if you feel, and if you know, like, you know what, this is something I'm supposed to do, and you're going to know that. She called it a knowing. And she was like, I believe that it was my calling from God, which I think is amazing. And if you feel that, right? You feel those things that you're like, I know I'm supposed to do this thing. How do I get it out there? And she talked about that. And she said, it was like, I want to say like 6 years of no's before she heard a huge yes that just took her business to the next level, which was amazing. So grit, because we hear no a lot in this business, and just in reaching out to people and, hey, can we help you? We hear no all the time. And that's okay. That's part of it. It takes so many no's to get a yes. And then those yeses are what you start to build on and thrive on. And it was a good reminder of that. A couple big nuggets that I talked about. And again, I know Jonathan, we all love the numbers on our team, especially him and I. We can geek out on numbers really quickly. And he's doing a long, video on that. And what I really wanted to focus on, though, is just sharing the things that anybody can use. The numbers are always helpful, especially if you're in the market or thinking about being in the market. But I think mindset is huge for any person in any business or doing anything. I mean, I look at my dear friends who are stay-at-home moms, which is one of the hardest things I believe that you can do. It never stops and you never leave it. And the mindset that they have to be successful in being a stay-at-home mom and staying on top of all of the things and doing everything that goes into that, and not really having a lot of, there's not a lot of transition in that role, but just the mindset in that. And I think that these nuggets that we pulled from this are transferable to anything that you do in your life. So a couple things that I pulled away from my notebook and here that I wanted to share was number one, Gary Keller, which is the CEO of our company. Actually, he's not the CEO anymore. He's the founder. Since then, he's transitioned to other CEOs, but he always comes to these conferences and talks, which I think is incredible. One thing that he said that I think is the most important thing, and if you hear nothing else in this video, I think the biggest thing is he said, doesn't matter what the question is that you're asking, love is always going to be the answer. And one thing last year that I had worked on is I went through, my goal was every day, and you know how everyday goals go. The goal is every day, and then you end up reading it, or you end up doing the thing, 5 times a week or 3 times a week or more than you would have done if you didn't say every day. And my goal was to read the definition of love in the Bible in Corinthians, what is love? And I read that as often as I could last year. My word for the year was love, and just internally for me, and I just kind of ruminated on it. And whatever the question is that you're asking, start with love and filter it through that, and go through and read, what is love? It's patient, it's kind, it's gentle, it's not self-seeking. And if you go through that, whatever question you're trying to answer, and if you can filter through that, in frustration, if you can filter through that, in a business decision, you can filter through that, in hiring somebody, in firing somebody, what is the question? Love. How am I helping this person? How am I not being self-seeking in this? And it doesn't mean that hard decisions can't be made, or that it doesn't mean that you can't fire that person. A lot of times we think, it's not loving to let that person go. Maybe that's the most loving thing that you can do, is to not be self-seeking, and that it's a hard conversation for me to have, but how can I love them in an exit? Or, how can I love this client through this really hard situation in this contract? How can I love my kids in this moment when I want to pull my hair out and everybody's crying? What is love? What is the question? The answer is going to be love. And then what is that, and filter through it. And so that was kind of a big thing that he talked about. And that was just a great reminder, and something that I think if we could all run questions through that filter, I think we would all be so much more gentle with each other, have so much more empathy with each other, and the world would probably be a lot kinder place. There's so much kindness if you look for it, but I think that people would have a lot more understanding for everybody else. So another couple things that I pulled out, pull my switch here, my page here. If something matters to you, try is an inappropriate word. So a lot of times in this Keller world, we talk about don't say try. You don't say try. You're not trying it. You just do it, right? And that's been ingrained in my head, which I love, because I used to say, I'll try and get that done. Oh, let me try and do that. I don't, wake up, I'm going to try to parent my kids well today. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And so if something really matters to you, if you have a big dream and it really matters to you, trying it is just an inappropriate word. Go do the thing. It doesn't mean you're going to succeed maybe at it. You might fail at it, but just go do it and then find out what that is. And if it matters to you, I'm going to go do that thing, because if I just try, that's just inappropriate for something that I really care about. Another thing he said was the greatest mistake that you can make is to be afraid to make one. And I believe that 100%. You are going to fail in life. You are going to make mistakes. There are going to be times when you don't do the thing and successfully, and that's okay. I've failed a million times, not only in my personal life, but in my business life. Like, failure is just part of it. And the quicker that you can just move past failure, the quicker you'll use those failures to learn from and move you to the next thing. He drew a ladder, and it was one had like a bunch of like the pegs on it were failures. One had a bunch on it, like this person had failed a bunch, and then one had like big chunks between their failures. And the person on it was like, this person on the one that had bunch of pegs, they were climbing faster because they're like, oh, failed on that. Okay, next one. Oh, failed at that. Okay, next one. And they were just climbing up this ladder quicker because you learn as you fail. And obviously part of that is you have to learn when you fail. You can't just fail and be like, well, do the same exact thing again. You're learning as you go. But those bigger ones, it was like, if I'm so afraid of failure that I don't fail a lot and I don't put myself out there, like, it's going to be so much harder. Like, this person was reaching for the peg. They couldn't even reach it. The failure was so far in between. And it doesn't mean that you want to go out and make horrible decisions. However, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and don't be afraid of failure. It is going to happen. It's inevitable. And the quicker that you can get up from failure, the quicker that you can move past it, the quicker that you can pull, like, what did I learn out of this failure, and move past that, the more successful you're going to be. And I've heard that always since being in Keller, fail fast and fail forward and fail often. And if you can do those things, like, if I fail, I'm going to do it fast. And if I fail, I'm going to make sure it went forward, because I'm going to move my mindset forward when I fail. And if I fail often, you know what? Next to the next thing. And I see that in my own business. When I fail, it's like, okay, whoo, that was not the best decision there. Okay, let's get back on track. So those are probably my 3 biggest takeaways. I have pages of notes here from all of these things. And the more that we go to these conferences, maybe I'll do another video on some of these things, but a lot of it's just about getting into action. Just get out there, do the thing. If it matters to you, don't just try, go do it. And if you fail fast and get back up. And if you know that this is something that you're supposed to pursue and do, just keep doing it. So if I have any encouragement to you, go out there and do stuff. Just do stuff and love people well. And if you have a question and you think, what is the answer for this going to be? Run it through the filter of love, and that will answer it correctly every time. So hope you guys have a great one. We'll talk to you soon on more things that we pulled out of wonderful training sessions that we get in this world. And if you need anything in the world of real estate, that's what you give us a call for. Numbers below.